Today I'm going to be going over the three forms of power, and we also talk about Black Leftists. The first one we're going over each law of power and breaking it down into showing how we know. So this is like a book that's like used all the time, and people think they're really cool for using these 48 hours of power. Crazy because most of these so-called the business model is not individual people. So I just find that very odd. It's basically written like a black people before. This is basically a white supremacist outline of power. And so you're going to get to see that today. So the first one is never outshine the master that already is giving the fuck are you talking about. But anyway, it's always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. The first thing is never outshine the master's crazy work. Who in their big ugly age is saying never master? Okay. And then she says never outshine. Now, if we take out the word master and well used to manage, supervise, CEO, and apply this to business, then that would make more sense because it is true that you don't want a superior to view themselves as inferior to you. It would have messed up opportunities. But again, this is more a business move. So why people insist that they read before they own the power and apply it to their day-to-day lives? It's crazy. I want to get on Instagram too. Never. I was going to get into Black Leftists too, because I feel like after reading it gives like the rest of the over, it gives very much Black Leftist intention. I'll show you for me. Um, but we'll get to it. I might do this in two parts because it is 48 levels. Even physics, the word law, in science, the word law is used very like even when there's plenty of evidence scientifically. I mean, not scientific evidence to support that it's a theory, but still kept a theory until they believe with almost complete certainty that it's a law. And even they know that these laws apply quantum mechanics. So the child was created as a power. It's very much fitting that this man who wrote it, whose name is Robert Greene, is very much a narcissist. And he should have killed throughout the entirety of this. And he's someone that is obsessed with and like dictatorship level power that just but anyway, as we get to this, I also think it's quite obvious. If you like to have a superior, okay, in the workplace, or you have a narcissistic parent, even, you learn pretty quickly as a child, never actually master. Because what it does is cause conflict. It causes the other person to become insecure and therefore a potential danger to you. And that's just true. But anyway, so I agree, it does inspire fear and insecurity on that level if we're discussing business or maybe narcissistic parent or caregiving or if you're in a abusive relationship or something like that. This would be beneficial. Um, but as far as everyday life, if you're not in that position every day, you know, we say absolutely not. Okay. So number two is never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to read them. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They'll also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy to your life, and he will be more loyal than your friend because he has you to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. And those are good things to say. Friends often conceal things in order to avoid conflict. Dangerous. It also says keep friendship with both of the skill that makes you sorry, just connected to the start that one over. Use enemies to define and cause more clarity to the public, even framing as a struggle of good against evil. And the last one is better off to know who and where your opponents are than to know where your real enemies are. Again, so with this second law of power is given very much. This is not for everyday people, for for regular people. This is for business because it just doesn't apply. And also gives high up in the company. Because we're talking about making enemies. Making enemies is not something a low level employee should do. But unless, I guess, if you're trying to find good and evil, like he says, you know, to basically use the God in the makeup. You see that. That's really great attention that you're going to see too. They do say craft and attention to each other. But this enemy and friend just seems so similar. Right? So friends and enemy is the same. The people that use it, this is a very um, narcissistic tactics. But who am I on Instagram? I'm live on YouTube. So I look way different. Anyway, man, they said, look, I don't know that it's anymore. And when I did, I thought, oh, that's what I'm doing. okay for myself. But so it says that friends often conceal things in order to avoid. Well, okay, that's what are they conceal? And why do you have it? Or why do you want people to make it? What kind of relationships are these that regular everyday people think that this is valid and applies to their life? This people reading this and assuming that this could apply to them just very much is uh, they think they're more than where they are. But they're not in a business. Go around manipulate um, for for dastardly intentions, you know, like not caring. Because this is usually friends and enemies. And I'm still trying to figure out this enemy. Again, if it's business setting or work setting, if you're trying to manipulate them, like, and if you have people that have not been who just like to do these things, and that's one thing. They became your enemy on their own. But to like go create enemies if you don't have any, it's crazy. I mean, what energy and time do people have to be up for us to make enemies? And what if you pick the wrong enemy? And they come up with this too. But if you think, the people that read this don't really get off of this. If you have a narcissist or somebody, because people pick up this book and put it into curriculum, 48 laws of power. Power means that you have people under, that you have power over. Because it is the power that you have, right? Not necessarily resources, but then it's really good. You're not tricking me, you know. I mean, you're going to trick with resources, trees, or something to get you power. So I guess this is a referring, you know, to people, to manipulate people, and people this book knows. Um, so I find this crazy, and it's even for sure that this is a handbook to white supremacy. I just love that black people should really read it to see how people are. This is not how we should apply things to our life. Number three, conceal your intentions. It's just obvious that this is manipulation. But anyway, keep people off balance and in the dark. I never reveal the purpose of their actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in smoke, in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. And then it gives, we're just going to leave it as a summary, something. The whole thing was a really, um, it was so boring. Okay? It was so boring and redundant. I didn't keep past that. I didn't be honest. So this is a breakdown for me, but I read this a little early, but I feel like I just put in the entire podcast. I'm still learning how to do this. But anyway, so they say humans can create objects of desire and red to throw people off the scent. So if at any the first one, if at any point in the deception practice people, if at any point in the deception practice have the slightest suspicion to your intentions, all is lost. Do not give them the chance to sense what you are up to. Throw them off the scent by dragging your opinions use false sincerity, send ambiguous signals, set up misleading objects of desire, unable to distinguish the genuine from the false. They cannot pick out what you have done. Secondly, Hide your intentions not by closing up, but by talking endlessly about your desires and goals. Process. Second, use smoke screens to disguise your actions. Continue. This one's ridiculously long. Deception is always the good strategy, but the best deception requires a screen of smoke to distract people attention from the real purpose. The grammatical reason. But this is a person giving versus a secret book that maybe have some personal fucking book because you think you got everything right. I mean, uh, the bland exterior, like the unreadable poker face, is often the perfect smokescreen, hiding your intentions behind comfortable and familiar. If you leave deception, they'll lead the path. He won't catch on when you lead him into the trap. Next, a helpful or honest gesture can divert from a deception. Next, pattern will also help to mask deception. Next, often the key to deception is being bland and acting with humility. Again, these are manipulation techniques. We don't have to go there, obviously. This is one, this can fool your intentions. But I'm not saying that this is not something that wouldn't work. And it's very similar to Black people. We have this thing of not saying something about what we're doing, moving inside of them. But you know you're moving. Why are you telling me? I mean, not this time. But let's say we can't tell you what we're against it. So this is similar to the concept of um, a office, right? Of telling people goals to shoot for. If you look at a very narcissistic point of view, for a regular person reading or thinking that somebody else has to get there. I'm not saying that people who are bad, but if you're using this, you're the bad person. You're the one who goes around and creates things out of thin air without no purpose. That is, to be willing to do that is manipulation. You're the bad person. But I will say that uh, behaving humble, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she's going to make people feel that you're not a threat. And you're talking to these people, right? Just friendly, not even thinking about it, and then you can get you good at your job and have a goal to move up, and but you hide it from everybody else. You're a good worker. Most times, people are going to know about your work, and that's good. Especially if you have a boss, manager, supervisor, um, who praises you publicly. That's a new thing to do, recognition in business. So if that's happening, people are going to know work is good. So they view you as a threat, and they say, "Oh, you're going to apply to the job." You know, just vague or I don't know. No, because if it's between the management, most of us are treated in private, and they do this. So we're experimenting usually it's hard. They already know. They're going through from it. When you're at like government, position, you there to you have rules and even in the private sector. So with that being said, if you have a certain number of people who are qualified, you don't have people. So then people that apply, right? And so people are going to try harder the more competition is there. Maybe they want to view you as competition. Um, they don't. Nobody really wants competition unless it's sports or some shit. And some people don't have to view you as business, sure. But the average person, if, if competition should feel like conflict, if humans do avoid conflict as much as they can. So consumer attention in business, again, cool. But everybody unless you a drug dealer or something. Sure, I don't, but again, it's business. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Let's go to number four. Always say less than necessary. When you're trying to, right off the bat, okay, necessary means you have to say, it needs to be said. You don't have to, but it needs to be said. So, the wording is stupid to me because say less than necessary. Do you mean say only what's necessary? Because that would make more sense. Because if it's necessary, it's needed. It doesn't, anyway. When you're trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more human you make people and the less in control. Even if you are saying something wrong, it's the same emotion. If you make it vague, open, and instinctive, powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. So again, I have questions because we talked to me before about essentially being low human and putting people not knowing that you're smarter or better, they are attention. But now we're talking about being intimidated um, and impressed um, by, by being a mysterious figure who gives open ended compliments. Again, manipulation, look at what I said. We just look at their other different things. Silence generally makes people uncomfortable. They will jump in and nervously fill the silence. I don't want this to be true. I'm okay with silence. I'm sure there are people like that. I've sat with so many people in silence. Um, unless I'm just staring at people weird. But that's only basically I feel uncomfortable in silence mostly. But if you're just sitting there, you don't know each other, whatever. I'm assuming these are the people who don't know how to manipulate. You're assuming that they're going to jump in still silence. And the next one, generally saying less makes you appear more profound and mysterious. That mysterious. Um, I agree, saying that, but it can also come off as it really depends on the type of person you are, because you're not going to be able to change. People are going to be more receptive to anybody um, with different, personalities, regardless if it follows these steps or not. But the fact is that most people are one, not intimidated by silence, and two, their personalities really dictate whether or not somebody's going to be open to this form of manipulation. You can't really, you can change your personality, but it's always going to be like this energy, this feeling, or whatever. See, like, coming in, I'm sticking forward with power, breaking it down, just how ridiculous it is to much on it. Anyway, so saying less appeared, if you appear more profound and mysterious, sure. I mean, a silent dog that just stares at you is profound and mysterious. Try to think what the fuck a dog is. So if you want to be like a dog, I mean, whatever, it's so stupid. Next is be particularly careful with sarcasm. Really is about that. This really lost part of shit. I'm sarcastic. It's my thing. Like, the TikTok probably the sarcasm. The sarcasm satire is and to say that it's not valuable again, this is such a blanket statement. And sarcasm typically is a sign of intent. Um, so unless they're saying that, and most people don't think of it that way. Making a joke, if that's your type of joking style, jokes so people feel comfortable too, if you know what you're doing or who you're interacting with. So I don't understand if they mean by it's really useful reasons that they make you try to explain what we all have. The next one is be careful with arousing suspicion or insecurity by being followed. At times it's easier to blame by playing the jester. What did I just say? Sometimes being stories because these things don't apply to everyday life. So it's really trying to figure out why everyday person is talking about the 40 laws of fucking power. But a lot, especially on TikTok, it's some type of badge of honor that they read the 40 laws of power. I don't view it that way. It's just very much white supremacist guide to be a white person or non black person. It's like what foreigners come over here with this book and treat black people like or whatever. When you get to that point, it just gets worse and worse. So number five, so much depends on reputation. With your life, okay? Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Reputation is needed. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation. I want to say, always be alert to potential attacks and flip them before they happen. Meanwhile, mean to destroy your enemy by opening holes in their reputation. Then stand aside and wait for the opinion. Maybe. And there's a very quick person here too, but we stop right there. Again, it's enemies. Who has enemies? Any lessons? President or dictator of our country or something? I'm confused. At what point would you have enemies? Again, if you're attributing enemies to business, you know, you have business, the competition, I guess, what we view as a competition that we're talking about. It sounds like, and I think the word competition should be used rather than enemies because it's crazy. Why do you have enemies? But as far as um, your reputation being powerful, that is true. Especially if you're up against an accusation and if your reputation is good. And if the accusation makes no sense for the people perceive as your character, then you have a better chance of defense, right? Unless the people come out with some receipts showing us what you do, which happens to a lot of people wanted. You got to be careful. Um, but this law of power, it, it's again, it's an applying to some type of business. I don't see how you're going to use this in your everyday life, but whatever. So we can go through the bullet points that are under the fourth law, which are work to establish a reputation of outstanding quality, whether generosity or honesty or cunning. So there it is. You're going to have to see what this reputation includes personality, incomes, character, and becomes, again, personality, who you are. So you have to present like who people think this is who you are, right? So you're picking a generous personality or honest personality, cunning personality. But cunning again seems um, the opposite of what these seem to be about because you don't know, right? But you also view it as valuable. It's just I don't know. But I do think that the reputation thing it does apply when you are in a type of business space or space where you want to be valued and will need later if you're up against accusation. That's the type of lifestyle. Anyway, the next one is a good reputation can save you much. A lot of work is done in advance by your reputation. This too is true. This too is true because you already have it in your mind and your mindset how you are by your deeds. So you don't have to go around and explain that you have the kid. Nobody's going to believe that bullshit. You saying how you are. Nobody's going to believe that because people are liars and people make books like this. Nobody can You have to prove things to people. So this too is correct to me. The next one is once established, always take the high road and protect. That makes sense. Another manipulation if there is much need. Because everybody wants your reputation, everyone wants you to get your text. So again, it goes back to opening those holes in your enemy's reputation, right? It makes sense if you're a manipulator. They don't want that you a life the normal. If you want more, if you're somebody that is rich, and if you are somebody that wants to be exclusive or if you're a narcissist, you'll be a narcissist. But anyway, go through six. Anybody just struggling to go through forget and participate in self question. So number six is court attention at all costs. This is my favorite so far because of how absurd it is. Everything is judged by its appearance. When what is unseen counts for nothing. Never let yourself get lost in crowd or buried in oblivion. Stand out. Be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. This is just ridiculous. And there's little trends out there we don't in a minute, but we're talking about that you have to go out of your way. And you see this on the TikTok. You see it on TikTok, being loud, boisterous. But there's this way to get people to it. So you see, I made a video about this. A lot of people big are manipulated. And there's the difference between the manipulation, using manipulation, and being manipulated. Everybody, whether it's to get out of something, whether it's to get something you need, it's not malicious for most people. Self, but I have but never to do something to harm people, right? I'm not, for instance, I've done it, right? Don't forget me, right? And through that, I needed an appointment for you. They would tell me that it was a 3 month wait or something like that. Ridiculous amount of time to get an appointment. And there's no one else to tell us at the hospital to the answer. So I said, wow, I humbled myself and it seemed like, cheating myself. Well, I don't know about this stuff. This is people who are trained to do this. And I was like, I wish you could get in. And then her person, I knew that person. And all of a sudden, an appointment opened up for the next week. That is manipulation, but I didn't harm. I was squeezing. Nobody got an appointment canceled. It wasn't, hey, let me get a minute this person. The manipulation is intent need something, right? Now it's different if I use that to get something I want and it harms somebody else, or even if I need it somebody else. But what you see a lot with content creators is one they start their platform using their people, and then all of a sudden they're going into this career and using their platform to push this and that. It has nothing to do with black people, right? You see that a lot. It's true. You have people, and I promote my podcast, but I talk about that stuff. That's all I talk about. Period. I started my platform 5 years ago, and I've been consistent. I don't talk about anything else, right? In my job, that's what I do for them. But I do civil rights investigations, right? This is my life. I get up early. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I get up early, 12:30, between 12:30 to 2:30, 3:30. If it's a late wake up day, get on my phone. I go to Google Scholar. I use ChatGPT to get an idea of what I need to look for on Google Scholar. And that's just that's not a web page, a search engine for credible and verified sources when you're trying to learn something. So I search it to there, and then I do my prep my rap songs. I like making my baby rap really good that week ago. But I like doing that. And then I go back to that. And then I've been off work for a little while because it is really depressing the work that I do. Hearing about black people being abused. Um, and I had a mental health issue. So I have to take breaks to come back to me. Anyway, I also have to get an EKG on my brain next week and have to do an MRI on my brain. There's a lot going on. I have conversion disorder, and I just found out I have high blood pressure, so I'm on medication for that now. So there's a lot going on. It's very stressful, and this is just what I do. And so I watch people. People love. That's again what I'm talking about with the personality thing. I don't, and I never have had a popular personality. I'm like a loner, right? Like I'll go be, guest appearances for popular people. That's basically my thing. And then I dip out. I'm not interested in it, right? But that's for social justice issues, not for just anything. And so I'll see these people, like Mecca, for instance, if you're familiar with Mecca on TikTok and has that podcast with the what they call it, the below five below. No, I'm playing it. Big five is what they call them. And so they start they do. She started one with me. And what's funny is the same, I'm gonna talk about black leftists as well. But the whole thing with that's happening with black people is we're now talking about the non-black people and black people who are black leftists and leftist is what they call themselves, and the never Kamalas and all that kind of stuff, right? They're saying exactly what I said a year before the election in November, on the dot, a year, November, that Mecca made a video about and called me pro genocide, talked about my kids. And I don't care what people say about just because somebody mentions your kids doesn't mean they're talking about your kids. You can translate it however you want. The door would have never been open for my translation, whether you believe it's a mistranslation or not, if you hadn't brought up my children. And it's funny because, bring mixed children. First of all, I have three children. Um, Only one of them is mixed, my youngest. And to bring that up, you obviously are bringing up my children in a negative way. It wasn't a positive way. You're not saying, "Oh," you know what I mean? So that was stupid. Then she made another video talking about my comment section, and I didn't go after her because she's a black woman. It had nothing to do with her. At the time, I had more followers than she did. I didn't know she existed. At the time, I had over 350,000 followers. I did not know Mecca existed. And she made that video and then blocked me um, after talking shit. About the pack called me pro genocide and all this other stuff. Then they start calling me colorist because I call her high yellow. Is anybody from the good morning? What's up, Brooklyn? Is anybody, well, you're not from the South, but if you're from the South, you call people high yellow, red bone type shit, right? Like I'm red bone. I'm a red bone. I look more yellow now, but in the sun, I'm a red bone. And I've always been called that. I'm brown, it's just red under. And so, like really red. And so we're going over the 48 laws of power, Brooklyn. I'm figured out how to do podcasts now. I should have been waiting on people to come in. I should just do it because it's recorded. Anyway, I'll cut that part out. I'm gonna start editing them. But anyway, um, so you have these people who will use light black issues. You do see what I'm saying. So how? First of all, colorism. Last time I checked, doesn't apply to light skinned people. But then they were like, "Do you know who Mecca is on TikTok? Do you be on Tik? You be on TikTok? You know who Mecca is on TikTok? Light skinned gal, high yellow gal. I mean high yellow. I mean high. I mean, light bright. You hear me? Usually, she's so at the time that we got into it, I had more followers than she had. I lost that page, but I still didn't know she existed. So it had nothing to do with duck and smoke. She was a black woman, right? So in that year, I was on that tip. I'm not gonna go so hard on the black woman. That's out the window. Okay. I be trying to catch smoke with her at this point. I do. I ain't gonna hold you. I want my lick back. Nah, I don't give a fuck about that black woman shit. It's black people first. That's it. I'm dropping your gender shit. If you want one, we can have one. Calling me pro genocide was crazy work. I mean, oh, that's you. It's she got me blocked. I can't even send you a link. She got me blocked. But anyway, so yeah, so anyway, so that motherfucker would call me that because I said you can't you cannot say that the oppressed stand up for the oppressor because Afro Palestinians are being abused way before 1934. They came as slaves. So to call me pro genocide when I'm talking about the genocide of our people is crazy work. Now everybody is having that conversation. I said it first. It may have been other people I didn't see, but I was the one that took the hit. Tens of thousands of people. I took the hit for that. Now them same motherfuckers is probably saying the same shit after the election. I didn't need the election to know. I knew what they were going to do, and they did exactly what I said. So anyway, so it's really dangerous following these people and listening to these people who do not continuously and actively digest the things that I do. My job is what I do. This is my life's work since I was in shit middle school. I was known for this shit, man. I was known for it so well. My AP teacher hated giving me papers because he knew I was going to tie it to science. My AP history teacher so bad. My science teacher gave me a book about Black rights, and then I lost it. He chased me around school for it every year. But I was known for why would a white teacher give me a pro Black book to read if I wasn't known for it? Do that make sense? No, I was known for I've been on this shit, right? Before anybody wanted to talk about it. I had locks people made fun of me so bad for my locks in middle school, I ended up cutting my hair, right? It grew back fast, so like that. But I had locks before anybody. Like people get them now, but they made fun of me for mine, right? Trying to embrace my culture, stuff like that. I wear waist beads. I don't never take them off. Like I got look, this is my shit, okay? I spend my time hours dedicated doing this. But people will sit there and go with someone who is actively manipulating them into believing that there's some type of activist. The bitch even posted a picture of her daddy or something being a Black Panther. My daddy is a 5%er. I ain't post no picture of him. My sister got pictures of her wrapped and strapped in bullets, and one I can't remember his name, with an AK-47 in her hand at 5 years old, with the hat, but whatever they had is called, they look like the Black Panther. They five. My daddy a 5%er, right? But I don't have to use that when I talk about rights because about social justice issues because that's what I do. I don't have to rely on anybody else. You can hear my words. The reason she has to do it is because she sits up there and tries to sell you shit all the time and got a podcast and making videos to go viral so people can go to her podcast. This is all about getting paid. When she got called out for talking about Jasmine Crockett or her people, whatever, got called out for talking shit about Jasmine Crockett. Next thing you know, she's at an all Black trans event with a famous trans person. not regular people, not going to a library or some shit with trans people. It so happened to be a famous person. That's performative. And it happened right after. It's performative, but people give these people passes. And I don't understand that. So, anyway, I try to tell people don't be manipulated because when you're faced with something of fact that someone else spends their life breaking down and digesting, and you choose that over, and you choose a person who just makes videos showing themselves, in their life all the time and calling out people and shit that doesn't deep dive into this stuff. You choose that person, something's wrong with you. It becomes a popularity contest. And I don't participate in that. I don't like that. I could manipulate if I wanted to. I could change I could do that easily. I choose not to. Anyway, let's keep going. This says draw attention to yourself by creating an unforgettable, even controversial, image. Court What'd you say? Court, scandal, do anything to make yourself seem larger than life and shine more brightly than those around you. Make no distinction between kinds of attention. Notoriety of any sort will bring you power. Better to be slandered and attacked than ignored. This is a tactic that is used on TikTok by Black people so much. They don't give a damn. But at the same time, most of them aren't doing it on purpose. They want a good reputation. That's why they fight so hard, right? But then you have people, her name is Heartbreaker on TikTok, who openly says she uses the 48 laws of power, and reading this, she absolutely does so far. She don't give a fuck what attention is. She getting paid. And I believe she makes at least $1,000, $2,000 a day doing it. She uses it very well. But again, again it's a manipulation tactics, and she feels comfortable doing that. That is what it is. Those people are vulnerable to it. Those people enjoy the drama anyway, and she knows that. You can't force people into drama. You can't force people to respond to you. And again, my focus is on Black people, so everything you hear is about Black people. Okay, unless I'm talking about when they let white people into their spaces to say the N word and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I'm talking about Black folk. So, yeah, this is not something that builds community. Okay, this is something that creates division. This is something that Black people do not have the privilege, which is a disgusting privilege to have, nor should anyone have it. Anyway, at the beginning of your rise, spend all your energy on attracting attention. The quality of attention is irrelevant. Again, you will go out of your way to harm people. Who's still in there? Brooklyn, is you in here? You go out of your way to harm people for what? You want to know something? If you still in here, I'll tell you this story. Um, how I used to pretend that I was from Brooklyn when I was little. I had a New York phone number and everything because my daddy and my granddaddy live up there in Manhattan. I'll tell that story if you'd like. It's very funny, but I'm not doing it if you're not in here. But anyway, it also says this is under the same law. Create an air of mystery. In a world growing increasingly banal and familiar, which seems um, enigmatic, instantly draws attention. Never make it too clear what you are doing or are about to do. Do not show all your cards. An air of mystery heightens your presence. It also creates anticipation. Everyone will be watching you to see what happens next. Use mystery to beguile, seduce, and even frighten. This frightening power thing is crazy work. Who's going to be scared of something of what? Maybe of losing something, maybe of that in a business. But again, even with heartbreak, she is using it in a business setting, and that's why these things apply to her. She's yeah. Remember, most people are upfront. I disagree. Can be read like an open book. I disagree. Take little care to control their words or image. Disagree. And are hopelessly predictable. I agree with that. By simply holding back. Okay, I'll tell you. Keeping are the message is delayed, keeping silent, occasionally uttering ambiguous phrases, deliberately appearing inconsistent and acting odd in the subtlest way. You will emanate an aura of mystery. I agree with that. I don't agree with the necessity of it, again, unless you are in a business setting and you're trying to get something. Um, the next one, do not let mystery turn to an air of deceit. It must always seem the game, playful, unthreatening. They are contradicting themselves. How can you have someone fearful but not threatening? I will not be looking into the Eastern Orthodox Church. But you gave a suggestion. So, anyway, so that was number 6. Um, what's number 7? I'm tired of these bullet points. Now, number 7 is interesting in the 48 hours of power. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. If y'all in here, please like it so I can get some likes and maybe more people in here. But this will be recorded, so it's fine. Use the wisdom, knowledge, and legwork of other people to further your own cause. Not only will such assistance save you valuable time and energy, it will give you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed. In the end, your helpers will be forgotten and you will be remembered. Never do yourself what others can do for you. This is crazy work. This was written by a raging white narcissist. It says, "Set okay, you." But it is. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Can you explain why I tell you the story? Ah, did you leave? I was about to tell you the story. I think the comments are delayed. Oh, you have to go to change the set, change the senior live kit. Oh, let me see. I see. I forgot I said what I said. Hold on. Um, hold on. What the hell? Okay, so that shows the time stamps. I I did not. I don't think that. I don't think. Would I have to restart? Damn. Okay, I'm going to restart. I'll be right back. And that way, I'm gonna the laws of power part. I'm gonna do that in a different. I'm gonna start a new podcast episode so I can talk about Black Leftists, and then I'll do a second part to the other one. Hold on, I'll be right back if you want to come back.